Good morning. You're listening to Central Wisconsin's 24-hour information station, AM 1320 WFHR. It's time now for the Morning Magazine, brought to you by Comfort Air Heating, Cooling, Plumbing.
Morning, everybody. You have your host, James J. Malouf, filling in for Carl Hilke. Thank you very much for joining us today. In part one, we're going to have Doug Machon in with us, chairperson of Wood County Board. And in part two, we will have Pam Ross, ODC president. And before we get going, I'd just like to thank Jesse. We're joined in the studio by Jesse of Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it. And let's go ahead and say good morning to Doug. How are you, sir?
Good morning, James. I'm fine. It's always a good day when I don't hit a train on the way to the studio.
You know, I tell you.
We're starting off on the right foot this morning.
I'm so with you on that, sir. I'm so with you on that.
Good morning, Jess.
I know we have a lot to talk about today. What's going on with the board?
It's an exciting time of the county right now. We've got a lot of things going on in the county right now.
Yeah.
Number one, it's budget time. We're starting the budget process. We're just starting to explore what we're going to do for capital improvements in 2020 and the cost of those items. We've had several meetings so far. We're trying to figure out how we're going to fund some of those initiatives. That's always the first step in the budget process. Somewhat can be problematic. We've got a lot of things on the table. And we're just going to have to figure out how we're going to pay for them. And so that's the initial step. Other things we've got going on right now, a number of exciting things coming up. As you may or may not be aware of, we've begun to take a serious look at how we do economic development in the county. And we're kind of changing the dynamics a little bit. We're going in and trying to decide. Well, the first question obviously was, does the county have a role in economic development? And we pretty much decided, yeah, we do. And then it's defining that role, how we want to redefine that role, I would say. We're probably going a bit away from the former paradigm of where we just operate on giving grants to different organizations. We thought that we would like to probably get a little more bang for our buck from the county perspective, where, and maybe the philosophy is that the county does the infrastructural pieces, the projects that give the partners the ability to market and do what's best for their interests.
Right.
And I think that's a really good place to be. And so along those lines, what we've done is we've got a number of projects, and number one is about a year ago, we started some ATV trail development talks throughout the county. A lot of people that are familiar with the northern reaches of Wisconsin, some of the northern counties and into the UP, some of those counties have extensive trail systems for ATV travel. A lot of county roads are open in segments to connect those trails that are off the roads. A lot of villages and towns actually have access on their public streets and highways to make connections to trails. That's seen as a good business strategy in a lot of areas, and it's produced. There's numbers out there that show that's ineffective. So I think pragmatically, Wood County said, "Hey, I think this is something we can use." I know there were some supervisors that were really pushed for it. Former supervisor Brad Kramer was a guy that he's no longer on the board, but he was instrumental in getting us started down that road. Within the county, there's been some key people involved in our highway commissioner, Roland Hawk, our planning and zoning director, Jason Gruenberg, our county forester, Fritz Schubert, and our parks director, Chad Schooley, all played a big part in folding this all together as far as our access to county roads, getting ordinances changed to allow that. And we've made the first step. We've made some connections where we are going to connect our trails to Jackson County, who has established a very, very good ATV system. And so we kind of want to mirror that, and then we also, going forward, want to make some connections to Adams County, which also has a pretty good system, especially up in the northern part of the county, and they have Derricuse Park, and obviously there's some opportunities for outdoor recreationists that want to ride vehicles.
Absolutely.
And so we're very excited about that. We've got enough trails developed, and we have enough in the process that we're going to actually have a grand opening, a ribbon cutting ceremony. And that is going to be on Wednesday, June 5th. We're very, very excited about it. It's going to be a big,
That's great.
big party. We've put a lot of work and effort into this, and now we're going to celebrate it. Yeah. And we're very fortunate. Our Ho-Chunk partners, Ho-Chunk gaming partners, want to be a part of this. We've tried very hard to make sure that they're included on the trail system. They see it as an opportunity for themselves. We certainly see it as an opportunity for them and ourselves. And they want to partner with us on the ribbon cutting. We're very grateful for that. We're going to have some speakers out there. We may have some state-level speakers, hopefully, some legislators. We've got several business partners that are willing to take part with us on the ribbon cutting. Donahue Super Sports, Country Sports, Power Pack, and they're going to be there as well. And they may be providing some ATVs for people to try the system out. There's going to be, I think Ho-Chunk is offering some rewards play. We're going to have some light refreshments. We're going to open the doors at 4:30, and the ceremony is going to begin at 5. It's an exciting time. Put it on your calendar.
Yeah.
Maybe even Jesse will be there. You never know. We could maybe get Jesse out there with a GoPro on his helmet, and we'll put him in an ATV and let him go.
I can't see anything bad happening.
No,
I think that'd be that's a neat idea. And I can think of a couple of my friends actually that are going to be extremely excited about that.
Great.
And they're not the only ones, certainly. This is a nice idea to branch out. Now, it's really interesting to me, the different groups and the different people that you reached out to kind of make this happen. I don't know if we really think about when these trails are developed and everything, all the different people that you have to contact and work with to make these things work, and then let alone to connect them to other counties. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and everything, I tend to take the stance that in government, if you really want to accomplish anything, it's all about collaboration. So it's looking for the best partners to work with and partners that have a shared vision with you. Sometimes it's hard to find.
Sure.
In this case, we've been very, very fortunate. All our partners are fantastic. All the businesses, the business people, the ATV dealers are all very, very excited about it. Like I said, Ho-Chunk Gaming is excited about it. Jim Webster out there has been a big help in this. So, again, we think it's a real opportunity for the residents of Wood County for a recreational experience. We think it will drive outside people to come to Wood County for recreational opportunities of this nature, and that's good for the county because we're going to drive tax base on that, on sales tax, and motels are going to rent rooms out, businesses are going to sell gasoline, they're going to sell accessories for ATVs, ATV dealerships are going to sell more ATVs. What does that mean for the county? It means more tax dollars. What does more tax dollars means? It means we have to levy less to our constituency.
There's no downside to this one.
I mean,
it's really nice. It's always and it's refreshing too to the first part of what you said there about the collaboration. I think that I grew up in a political family talking politics a lot. And I think that one of the most smartest things I ever heard in politics was Abraham Lincoln when he first got elected. He in his office he brought in people that ran against him that had believed different things than him because he knew he didn't know everything. And it was better that way and is more representative of the country. That goes a long way, and it's refreshing to hear, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, and those of you out there that know me best know I'm a huge fan of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay,
and
great.
So I'm very familiar with those strategies that he used, and that's absolutely right. A lot of times in the problems we have today are caused by partisanship, and if we can get past partisanship and become nonpartisan or bipartisan at best, we actually usually find out that we go a lot further down the road. And that lends itself to collaboration as well. But these collaborations, like you said, are very exciting for me personally because every time we find one out there, someone that buys into the vision, that shares the vision, it really becomes a positive for the county. And we can do that in many, many areas. We're not talking just about recreational opportunities, but you can do it in partnerships in human services.
Right.
I was just talking to our human services director, Brandon Verwink, this morning about an item that we deal with in the state. And we've developed a partnership there with a private entity. And at the beginning of my political career, I wasn't probably convinced that private-public partnerships were the way to go. I was hesitant and I was skeptical. But I found out that some of them work and some of them work well. And when you identify one that does, then you need to either take that model and try it and shift it to some other program, or you need to expand it where it is and develop it even further than what it can go. Some of those opportunities are very unique and they're very rewarding as well. And not only that, but they can be fiscally rewarding. So
it seems like it. Yeah, it definitely comes across that way too.
Yeah, and not only that, but at the same time, you're still true to your mission and performing a service for your clientele and your constituency. And that's, in the end, that's really the question for county government is, what do we do for our constituency? That's what we're here for.
Right,
so,
right.
And it's part of this is the fun part of it. It's not always fun.
Right, absolutely, yes.
It can be.
Yeah,
so.
and I know that there is, and if don't mean move on if you're not ready to, but I know there's a lot going on in the county, and I want to be able to certainly get to what we can.
And we're gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna probably stay on the economic development piece this morning because it's so big right now, and we're spending so much time on it and devoting so much of our energy on it because we're seeing some really positive things. Another thing is we're looking forward to working with the city on the marketing and development of the bike trail system.
Oh, sure.
Because what people probably don't realize, or they probably do, local people realize, we have a pretty extensive bike trail system in the Wisconsin Rapids area now. You can ride your bike from Nakusa to Buren nonstop off the road, which is safe. I don't want to get hit by somebody texting.
No.
So I love to ride my bike with my wife.
Me too.
I love to see.
Well, not with your wife, but I like riding my bike.
Sorry. She would probably ride with you on days when I want to stay home.
Sure, exactly. Everybody needs a break every once in a while. I'm with you. Those bike trails are great.
And safety is really a marketable thing on that.
Very much.
Why do I go down to Elroy Sparta and ride those trails? Because I can do it off the road. I can see beautiful scenery. I can do it safely. I can have a good time. I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing in Wisconsin Rapids. You can ride along the Wisconsin River for almost 18 miles, probably. See beautiful vistas, watch the geese swim, watch swans if you're up in the Buren area at times, see the birds fly, see a beautiful river, see boats, see people having a good time picnicking, stop and talk to people. A beautiful ride, completely safe.
Yeah.
How many people know about that? If I put that in an ad somewhere or on a TV spot somewhere in Milwaukee or in Madison or Appleton, do people come to Rapids and bike a trail system like that? I do. My wife and I travel to Two Rivers to bike, stay in a motel for a weekend, nice motel, go to restaurants in that town and eat, and we ride trail systems that are much shorter than what we have in Wisconsin Rapids. So we've done the infrastructure work here.
Yeah.
Now it's about marketing it.
Yeah.
It's about marketing it. Look at what the Green Trail in Portage County has done, how they've expanded to Amherst. That's what I see happening here.
Okay.
We have the Bridgewater development that's going to happen in Buren. I can't imagine that the people that are going to be buying into that development and building those houses on the river are not going to want to be connected to that trail.
Yeah.
So that's a very short segment that we add on possibly. I'm not saying we're going to do it. It's an idea.
It's an idea. Yeah.
It's an idea. So that's probably going to happen. So that extends your trail further. My wife and I just rode the new from Wisconsin Rapids the other day up through Buren and then took the, I think it's 32nd Street, up and rode the sidewalk back. Pretty safe trail.
Yeah.
You can go through the woods and when you get to the trailhead in Buren. And 32nd doesn't have a lot of traffic. There's a nice wide bike lane there. Very safe. That's another loop. You can market the loops as well as the entire system.
That's an interesting way to take it. Yeah. Instead of just the whole thing. I mean, being able to do that, that's a very smart marketing idea.
Options.
Yeah.
And, along with that, it goes our Powers Bluff development, which we're working very hard on trying to accomplish as well, which is going to be bike-centric, basically. And it's going to be a different type of biking. It's going to be single-track and dual-track off-road type bikes. But that can be developed as a hub for events. Now, there's actually a series in Wisconsin of a racing series for single-track and double-track bikes. And these guys are serious about biking.
Yeah.
And they travel different courses. You give them a venue like Powers Bluff with some amenities that are saying, we like bikers, come here, we're going to take care of you. Guess what's going to happen? Build it and they will come.
Exactly. Yeah, you're so right.
And that's what you have to do. There's a lot of truth to be said for the philosophy that if you want people to come to your area and if you want people to invest in your area and live in your area and create jobs in your area, you have to create the area.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to chase a job anymore. Nobody chases a job.
Yeah,
they decide
different.
where they want to live. They'll worry about their job when they get there.
Yeah, that happens more and more, and I even have a lot of my younger students telling me that. And it's so weird to me that's because it used to be so different when we were younger. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, for myself, are you kidding me? I mean, you get out of high school, it's like college wasn't even really a thought of option. It wasn't necessary for my generation. I walked out of high school and walked into the paper mill. I had a great paying job. I had all the money I wanted.
Yeah.
The future was so bright I had to wear sunglasses. And it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Now, you can't do that.
No, it's
You're not going to walk into a job that's going to pay you that kind of money, top dollar, without an education.
Yeah.
You may not even get it with an education.
Well, I was just going to say, even with a college degree sometimes nowadays. And so, that is a whole different thing. So marketing the area and the highlights of the area goes so much farther. And it probably, and I don't have no stats on this, but from what I hear from people around the area, it makes them want to stay too. Makes them, not so quick to move out of the area or what have you.
Because we have a brain drain. There's no doubt we have a brain drain. So what do? I mean, you have to dedicate yourself to, and we're fortunate. I mean, we're very fortunate. I remember a conversation a few years back, and it was about the death of the paper industry. And I'm not sure the paper industry is dead.
No,
but it's certainly not as vigorous as it was in my time.
Yeah.
So you have to account for that some way economically with your economic base. So the discussion was how we need to re-identify ourselves to find out what we are. Okay, well, you know what? It looks more and more to me, this is my opinion, but in Wood County, particularly South Wood County, Powers Bluff to the north to some extent, we've been blessed with an abundance of natural resources.
Yeah.
So if we reinvent ourselves as a recreational vacation land, or however you want to categorize that, is that a bad thing? No, I don't think so. I think you take advantage of the opportunities you have. We talk about the Wisconsin River flowing through the heart of Wisconsin Rapids. What have we done with it?
Yeah.
What have we done with it?
It's a good question.
Not near what we can do with it.
Right.
And I'm sure Mayor Ruink, we talk all the time, and he knows what he's doing there. And the Riverfront Development Plan is a fantastic plan, and it's going to pay dividends in the future. There's no doubt about it. That's a start. It's a great start. We have a lot to work with. It's a matter of how we're going to go forward and finish it off.
Well, and it's nice to hear, again, it's another refreshing thing to hear, whether it's from the mayor in his office or you at the board, that your heads aren't in the sand, that you see that we have some availability here to make things better and areas where we want to.
Yep.
I think that just as citizens, we appreciate that. That our people that we have elected, they understand that there are things that are going very well and that we are great things about this area, but there's always room for improvement.
Right.
And there's ways to make things even better for our citizens, for our people in this area.
Yep.
And people who, by the way, you guys are part of. A lot of people seem to forget that sometimes. That politicians aren't just made in a laboratory or something like that. You guys are citizens too. You live in the area too, and it benefits you as much as it does us, and as our children, our kids, our future.
And hopefully that gives us some perspective.
Yes.
I know one thing. At 64 years old, I know one thing. We go nowhere clinging to the status quo.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that's certain, it's change.
Yep.
It's going to be continuous.
Yeah.
And whether you adapt and how quickly you adapt is what makes or breaks you. Sometimes we're not good at marching down the road quickly. Yeah. Sometimes we have to be kicked a few times in the butt. That doesn't mean we can't come back stronger and redefine ourselves and have a new mission and have new goals. I think that's part of strategic planning for anything, any business or entity, is you look at change as coming and you find ways to adapt as quickly as possible. That's part of a plan. That's part of a strategic plan that everyone has to have. Yeah. And if you don't have that, you're probably missing opportunities that are obvious to other people. And not only that, but if you have people looking at your area and you don't have one, they're saying, "Wow, what's going on here?
Right.
Are we living in caves here or what?"
Yeah.
And we don't want to be characterizes that.
Adapting is such a huge part of life, and especially this. So I completely agree. I see what you mean.
The world is changing quickly, very quickly.
Yeah, and if you don't evolve with it, it just evolves faster.
Right. It's going to leave you behind real quickly. But I think we're on the right track. I think we are doing things properly, and of course we always try to stay fiscally prudent. And that's important to our taxpayers. We do what we can and what makes sense, and we certainly like to see a return on investment in anything that we do. Some things are easier to put into that perspective than others. You can't always put a clear black and white dollars and cents figure on something. Some things you certainly can. Other things are maybe more of a gut feel. I don't think I would ever do anything on a gut feel, but probably less defined would be a better word. Can you capture an exact dollar amount on increased sales tax on some initiative? I don't know. We put well, here's an example. We put a fee on our disc golf in the parks this year, small fee. We'll certainly at the end of the year know what that gained us. What kind of value it has for the community as well. But that's something that's pretty black and white. Other things may not be as black as white. A human services program that you presume is helping a specific clientele may not be as clear cut. You have a feel that it's doing well. You see some evidence that it's doing well. You probably can attach a dollar amount for a loss or gain on something like that. But in some cases, you're obligated to do those things. And I think societally, we are obligated to do a lot of those things. But
that's a really good point there. Yeah. Doug, before we let you go, because I know you're a very busy guy, did you have anything you wanted to wrap up with?
Yeah, I would like to say hello to Carl out there. Carl, we're thinking about you, bud, and hang tough. And there are a lot of people, the more I do the show, I love this show, by the way. The more I do the show, the more people come up to me wherever I see them and say, "Hey, I heard you on the show, or I saw you on TV," and I'm always appreciative of that. So I'd like to give a big shout out to some of those people. All my friends at River City's Clubhouse today. Thank you for the great job you did last night. Really appreciative of your efforts, and all those other people, my personal friends that do listen. Hello, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, and Doug, a great conversation. Really appreciate you coming in today.
No problem.
Thank you very much. That was Doug Machon, chairperson of the Wood County Board. Thank you for the time, Doug. And we want to send a big thank you to Jesse of Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. You're the man. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate you.